27 minutes before we reach the hour of 5 p.m. This is obviously the second hour of the show. We're dishing out great music alongside conversations that matter. And speaking about the conversations that matter, we are championing those conversations obviously today. Speaking to Nandipha David on the line is joining me to speak to me about her line of work. She's a tourism lecturer at UNISA, but she previously worked in the tourism industry for over 10 years. That is before she joined, UNISA as the tourism lecturer. And currently she is enrolling as a PhD candidate. So soon enough we'll be, calling her Prof. Nandipha David. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on your show.
Great stuff. Listen, I'm excited as well that we are speaking here. Before I even jump into the deeper matters of the day or rather of this conversation, how does it feel to be, a lecturer who perhaps maybe once worked in the tourism industry or rather in the industry at large and then come back to become a teacher, if I can put it that way?
For me, it's quite a rewarding experience, having worked in the industry, and then you were able to have that practical element of what it is to work in the tourism sector. And I've worked in various, positions for different companies. So you're able to identify, where the shortcomings in terms of what is being taught and what is happening practically. And I was quite fortunate that while I was working, I did study all the way up to my master's. So you actually have an idea, of what the trends are, what's happening, also while you're practically working. So I was quite grateful that when I joined UNISA, I had that experience that I was able to bring to my modules and to my students. You'll find that, the UNISA profile of a student is that sometimes they in fact, most of the time that they are working because we are a distance learning university. So they're able to share their insights, I'm able to share mine, and we're able to meet at that level where we're bringing both the academic and the practical together. So for me, it's quite a rewarding experience, and I'm grateful for this opportunity that I have, to help people within the tourism industry to gain their qualification and so that we can grow this industry together. Thank you.
Yeah, that is really great. I mean, the way you're putting it makes me think of, even other sectors, for the fact that, you worked in the industry first, and then when you come back, you're not just coming to, become a lecturer, just like an obvious lecturer, but you're coming with experience, you're coming with the knowledge of, where are the gaps, and, in terms of knowledge, and, some of the gaps within the curriculum as well. So you're able to add more value, and you're able to say, okay, cool, maybe we are not teaching the right thing. Maybe we need to change some of the stuff within the curriculum because within the industry there is this gap. So maybe if we curate our curriculum in this direction, we might be able to actually, meet some of the, close some of the gaps within the industry. And I think you're putting it in a right way. So look, Nandipha, speak to me about just some of the careers, obviously, that within, because I know a lot of people don't, even the students, the learners who are studying tourism today, they have no idea of how broad the tourism industry is, and most importantly, some of the careers that, of course, they can explore within the tourism sector. Maybe you can take us through that.
Yes, you put it quite rightly when you say that, the tourism sector is quite broad and there are many related industries. For instance, when you look at the aviation sector, there's opportunities there for people who have studied tourism. Just to be a flight attendant, is the first thing that would come to mind. But there's so many operational aspects that are involved as well. And then we look at hospitality. Again, various departments, various opportunities. You can work in front desk, you can work in housekeeping, you can work in the kitchen. which also then related is, being a chef, and working in that space. Then you can also work as a tour operator, inbound, which means, bringing people into South Africa, or outbound, sending people out, out of the country. There's opportunities within the travel agency space where you can either work in a travel management company that deals primarily with corporates, or you can work in the leisure space when you are working with people's holidays and assisting them with that. And what is so fantastic about this industry as well is that there's so many entrepreneurial opportunities. You don't have to wait for a job. You can start your own initiative. For instance, if you're in a township, you can offer tour guiding services. And I know the Department of Tourism does offer opportunities to train tour guides. You can start your own, if you know how to cook, you can start your own business and operate in that space as well. Event management, and to be a conference organizer, you just get the relevant accreditation. You can start your own business. So there are so many opportunities. For instance, we all belong to some type of stokvel or some type of community. You could work as a person that arranges travel, and it doesn't have to be big scale events. You could start planning and arranging, year-end functions. You can start planning birthday parties. That in itself is working in the tourism and travel space. So, like you said, it's quite broad, and the opportunities are, I almost want to say, they're endless. And very also, when it comes to entry level, from matric, you can already find a job where you are waitressing, where you are working in the kitchen, washing dishes, and work your way up. I know a lot of people in the hotel sector who've started very, even just in housekeeping, making beds, and they've moved up, the rooms division managers, they're now, general managers. There are so many opportunities. And the good thing about also, with us as UNISA is that while, you can get your job straight from matric, you can also still study to supplement that, so that you can also accelerate your working up within the organization. So I think, if people are interested in the careers, you can just do an online search. You can contact us as well when you do your degree. We also specify there, what are the opportunities that you can get once you've qualified with a particular degree.
You're dropping nuggets and nuggets. I think if UNISA doesn't make you the spokesperson for the Department of Tourism at UNISA, they'll be making a huge mistake. But anyway, look, let's talk about the programs that you offer, or that are offered by UNISA in particular. And here we're speaking about tourism-related programs in particular.
So with UNISA, we're actually one of the very few universities that offers this very broad program qualification mix, because we offer from a higher certificate qualification all the way up to a PhD. So you can come in and do a higher certificate. You can do a diploma in tourism management. You can do a BCom in tourism management. You can do an advanced diploma in tourism, an honors degree, move on to your master's, all the way up to a PhD. So we offer quite a large, a full variety in terms of the opportunities for studying.
0612587338. Send me your voice notes, send me your WhatsApps. I'm speaking to Nandipha David. She's a tourism lecturer to be specific, at UNISA, the University of South Africa. And we unpacking everything tourism. We're unpacking some of the stuff that, of course, you might not know about tourism. And of course, if you have any questions, send them through on WhatsApp. You can send your voice note. You can send your messages on WhatsApp. It's 061-258-7338. A couple of programs that, of course, you are offering. Are programs that, of course, are offered in a number of institutions. I mean, they might be, titled differently and there and there. But my question is that, how are you guys then ensuring that these programs are actually in line with, the market? So the problem that we are having nowadays is the programs that are being offered at the universities or at the tertiary level, but when you get to the workplace, or rather when you mesh them with the gaps in the workplace, they're not necessarily competent. They're not necessarily relevant that much. So how are you guys ensuring that maybe this is not the question that you can answer? Maybe there's a relevant person within the department, but I'm sure you know a little bit about the procedure of how do you guys then ensure that these programs are actually relevant and they are relevant in the workplace.
So so all of our programs obviously are accredited, and there's regulatory bodies that are involved. DHET is quite involved in having our programs accredited. But further to that, UNISA is quite good in terms of our quality assurance. And we have, I think every 2 years, what we call an advisory board, as well as a program review meeting. So we have a program review, which then we put together all of our qualifications. It is reviewed by, a panel from other universities. It's outside of UNISA, so it's other universities that view our programs and see that they're still aligned. And then further to that, we then have what we call an advisory board. So this is when we invite industry to come and sit with us. We take them through our programs, and then they provide input into the relevance of our programs. So we're always, in touch with industry in terms of what are their requirements and what it is that we're offering and how we can bridge the gap. So I think as UNISA, we are quite serious in terms of our quality assurance, and this is some of the measures that are in place to ensure that there is this, congruency in terms of what we offer and what is there, what is required by the market. Thank you.
Great stuff. You guys were present at the National Careers Expo that took place, the National Tourism Careers Expo that took place on the 30th of September up until the 2nd of October. I mean, that was a 3-day event at the Johannesburg Expo Center. Speak to me about that. Was it your first time exhibiting at the expo, and also what was your overall experience on behalf of UNISA?
Yes, so it was not our first time. We've actually been involved with the expo since its inception, and I must say that it's been growing year on year. So in 2021, for instance, we were not able to have it because of the pandemic, but we did have the 2021 showing happening in March this year, and then the one that we recently had was then the 2022 edition. And I mean, from the one we had in March, where we were expecting about 3,000 students, we received a lot more than that. With this particular one, I mean, we expected to see over 8,000 students and general members of the public attended that, and it was a great experience for us, and it was good, to see the number of students coming and interested in our programs. And the good thing also was that it happened at a time when our applications at UNISA were open, so we were able to offer first-hand, practical assistance to our prospective students and our existing students. So at our stand, we had our laptops, so we were able to assist with on-site registrations, and many of the students, the grade 12s, were very grateful for that opportunity, because we took them right through the whole process of applying. Even if it wasn't applying in tourism qualifications, I mean, we were applying across the board. We had the support of our marketing and recruitment team, so they were there as well, answering all manner of general questions, and so that was quite a great takeaway for us, was to be able to offer that. And also, I mean, our existing students, who had some questions or some difficulties, we were able to resolve that. So that for me was quite rewarding. And the expo in itself, was quite a good showing. We saw a lot more exhibitors within the industry, and what was good is that we were there as academia, but the employers were there as well, so we had across the board travel agencies, tour operators, we had hospitality representatives, everyone was there, so we were all working together. So you can apply the side for your to study, and then you go and ask for an internship somewhere else, and it was good to have Kat Sita there as well, and the National Department of Tourism, so it was a good showing overall, and we were great initiative, and we're happy to be a part of it as UNISA.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was really great, considering the fact that you were also assisting, learners to actually apply directly on spot? Because I think that's one of the challenges that a lot of learners get to face when they try to actually access tertiary applications. I mean, I used to run an organization that really looked at assisting learners from disadvantaged areas to apply to university, and I know how challenging is that. But before I let you go, Nandipha, then how is do you guys have like a direct communication channels that perhaps maybe anyone and here I'm speaking on behalf of learners and some of the people that of course would love to contact the Department of Tourism at UNISA, how then can they send communication to you?
So on the UNISA website, we have all of our contact details there. If you go to the College of Economic and Management Sciences under the Department of Applied Management, you'll find all of our profiles there with our email addresses and our contact details. We also have a general office email as well as a phone number, and our departmental secretary is very good and hands-on, and she responds to every email that is received. We also can be contacted as well. In fact, across the institution, the contact details, if you click on the UNISA website and it says contact us, you will find various departments there. Their contact details are also there. So if your query relates to anything outside of tourism, then you can also contact us on our website. All of our information is available there for students. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for your time and effort, Nandipha. I really appreciate your time coming through, on the show and sharing some of the important knowledge with us, and that I don't take it for granted, and I hope our listeners are able to take some of the knowledge here home. But yeah, all the best also with your PhD.
Thank you so much, Elvis. And it was such a pleasure meeting you at the expo as well. And again, great fruitful partnerships have come from that. And if there's ever an opportunity, we are here to work with you and your community. We love the work that you do. I follow you on the socials, and I encourage everyone to follow you on Instagram and Facebook and the various platforms. You guys have some great people on your show, so I thank you so much for this opportunity, and it was quite a privilege for me to speak to you today.
Lovely, great stuff. 10 minutes before we reach the hour of 5 p.m. That was obviously Nandipha David, who is of course a lecturer at UNISA, tourism lecturer to be specific at UNISA, and we appreciate conversations like this. We appreciate the time and effort these individuals are making to actually come on the show and speak to us about a number of topics. Right now it is of course 10 minutes before 5 o'clock, and at 5 o'clock I'll be speaking to Jessie on behalf of SA Adventure Industry Association. She wants to speak to me about what they do there, but most importantly her overall experience at the National Tourism Careers Expo that took place between the 30th and the 2nd of October at the Johannesburg Expo Center. Yes, when we come back we kick off that conversation right here.